Welcome back to my studio. Today I have, I'm going to do a drawing for you, a painting, and it's going to be a fairly simple landscape, but it's one that I see occasionally and it catches my eye. It's basically some stormy, cloudy weather approaching a stand of trees, and very simple. So let's get into it. What's going to happen here is that it's going to be a time-lapse video, simply because it takes me so long to do. The way I work, it is very slow, and I'm sure that if you use this, most of my students end up working much faster than I do, and I'm sure you will as well. But every minute of time-lapse in this video represents 30 minutes of actual drawing. So there's a fair amount of time involved in doing this. So here is my original photograph, and just for reference I'll show you how I cropped to be a little closer to what I had in mind. So as with any new drawing, I draw out a frame on my paper to mark off the boundaries and the aspect ratio of the drawing. So here I'm starting to fill in the sky. I'm going to work on the clouds first. I'm using a Polychromos cold gray, and I'm also going to use a little bit of French gray from Derwent and the Derwent Studio pencils, and I'm also going to use some what's it called, mid gray with the Derwent Color Soft pencils. But we'll get to that in a minute. So here I'm just working the sky, trying to define the rough size and shape of the clouds. Here I'm using a Prismacolor cloud, what is it, cloud blue, I believe. Now it's just a matter of adjusting the clouds, constantly darkening them, trying to eliminate the strokes. Just even it up and make things look like clouds. There'll be some hard edges, some soft edges, darks, lights, a lot of variation. Here I'm starting to fill in the foreground trees. I'm using a chrome green with that's Polychromos again, and that's a very grayed green. It's very good for undertones. I've actually used it as undertones in portraits. So working the lower clouds now. And I'm working very lightly. I don't apply pressure. I use a very sharp point on the pencil, and it's a question of building up multiple layers. And I just like the way that finish that produces. Here I'm using the sheet that I record my colors on. I record all my colors for all my drawings, and I'm also using it to protect the drawing, so I can put my hand down to reach certain areas of the drawing without worrying about smudging anything or transferring oils from my hand to the drawing surface. I'm also, you might be able to pick up there, I'm using a pencil extender because it's the pencil's only about half normal size, and it just allows me better reach. Feels like a full pencil. You can see I change my direction to eliminate any real directionality in the pencil strokes. It's just a matter of constantly back and forth, back and forth. Here I'm using Luminance Aubergine. Its closest equivalent I've found is the Derwent Burnt Carmine. It's sort of a purpley color. It's really nice. One of my favorite tones. Here I'm overlaying with some sap green It's Derwent again, Derwent Studio. This will help bring the trees forward. We're going to create a little separation in the space here. I'm using some of the aubergine in this foreground tree on the left, and it's a red in essence, and becomes the neutral. It sort of grays out some of the green. And if you look at your green, especially cedars, you'll see there's a lot of red in them. Here I'm using a fairly bluish green to push those trees further back. Now I'm back to using the middle gray, the color soft middle gray. And it again is a cool gray. Back to the greens, a mixture of the sap green and using the chromium green, and maybe even a little bottled green, mineral green, I'm sorry, not bottled green, mineral green, a Derwent color again. That's the sap green. It's just a little warmer, brings things forward a little bit, creates some spacing. This is the mineral green. Just helps push those trees back a little bit, but makes them a little less blue. Softening some of the edges on the clouds, working the trees again. It's a matter of back and forth, back and forth. Build the layers and just keep everything, move the drawing along uniformly. I know there are people who work one area of a drawing to finish and then move on to the next section. I tend to believe in what Edward Degas used to say. He said you should be able to walk away from a drawing at any point and it should look finished. I also don't see how you can have any continuity in your drawing. If you finish one little corner first, I don't know how you relate that to the other. You'd constantly be going back to readjust, I would think. French gray, it's a warmer gray, so it'll bring some of the areas forward, whereas the cooler grays will recede. Soften some of the edges, it blends it a bit. This is the Polychromos cool gray. You'll notice I also, on the earlier sessions with the green, I roughed up some of those edges that were fairly linear before. So it looks like there are actually branches sticking out, which is the way trees look. Just get the sky evened up and darkened down to where I want it here. Soften in some of the edges, blend some of the tones, some of the areas together. And again, I'm just working with the weight of the pencil. details and then finish this later area with, this is a polychromos. I'm sorry, this is a Prismacolor gray. This is their cool gray, 30%. Again, just softening the edges, trying to make it look finished, make it soft where I want it to be soft, and harder edges where I want. Now I'm adding a little this purple color back in, the aubergine. Tone it down a little with the grays. I'm also going to add a little bit of gray into some of the greens on the trees to just gray them down. This kind of light, everything is grayed and subdued. And here I'm adding in the bare trees that are sticking up above those evergreens, which is what caught my eye in the first place. The trick with doing trees is not to make sure that they're not all the same height. You want to vary your heights, vary your branches. I'm doing that with a Derwent Studio number 54. Here's the finished drawing. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you found it informative. I hope you learned something from this drawing. If you did, a like and subscribe would be greatly appreciated. If you've got any questions about anything you see in any of my videos, questions about equipment, questions about pencils, anything related to the drawing or the process involved, please feel free to contact me at the email address at the end of this video. Or leave comments below. I'll answer all the comments. I'll put some links below for some of the products used in this drawing, and I hope that helps you. Look forward to seeing you soon. Take care and stay safe.